eating. In fact, there's plenty of food out there, so make sure you, if you want seconds, go back there, grab some more. But first of all, welcome to today. It's always great to have Football Media Day here at Western Illinois University, and very exciting fall camp, very exciting summer leading into fall camp. So we're very excited. We're going to have head coach Charlie Fisher come up and speak first, and we've got the 5 players coming up, and we'll introduce them as they come up. And then anybody else that you want to talk to afterwards, just let me know and we will get you squared away. But once again, thanks for coming, and right now we'll bring to the podium head coach Charlie Fisher.
All right. Thanks, Pat. Just want to thank everybody for coming. Exciting day for our players and our program and moving forward. I'll just make a couple general statements, open it up for questions. Today be practice number 8. We're coming off a 2-a-day. Yesterday, our first 2-a-day, we've got 4 of those coming up here in the next week. And really pleased with how our players came back. Most, 85, maybe 90% of our team was here all summer, or most of it. So our team reported very excited, with a lot of energy and a lot of great focus. And one thing I'm big on is the team and the chemistry within that team. We'll continue to build on that. I've said this from the day I got here. This is a great group of kids. I love coaching them. I like being around them, and that's important in the coaching world. You got to like the guys you coach. And our staff and the chemistry between our staff and our players has been very, very good. The thing for me in practice is to build a competitive culture, a competitive environment. I want us to compete at everything we do it the very best way that we can. We've had a really good situation there that guys can talk about with a point system, and that's been awesome, whether the offense wins each day or the defense. So that's been a lot of fun. At this point in camp, we're battling some fatigue, mental fatigue, and then physical fatigue. That's all part of it. There's not a team in America that doesn't go through that. So that's part of it. We got some injuries, got some guys nicked up a little bit, but we can manage that. We've got depth. We've got a good roster. My goal coming into preseason camp was to bring the 95 best players we could bring to camp, and that would be our returners, and then any transfers or newcomers that we signed, obviously, and then our walk-on program to bring good players in here also. So we're starting to see some separation at some positions. There's some positions we need to identify who's going to kind of separate and kind of be our guys. 3 of those positions to speak of would be tight end. Most people know when I took the job here in the first press conference, I said we would just make the tight end position completely different here. I'm a big fan of the tight end. We're going to use the tight end, whether that be in the run game, obviously the pass game. So I'm pleased with how we're progressing there. Our defensive line is coming along. We've got to answer that question mark as we continue to progress through camp. We lost a lot of people there last year, but I'm pleased with our talent there, the effort. Coach Stockton's done an awesome job with them. I really think probably the position everybody's looking at, who's going to be our running back going into this season, who's going to be our running back, who's going to tote the mail with a 1,000-yard rusher gone from last year. If you look at my background, I'm very multiple, but I believe that you win running the ball. If you can run the ball, you throw it really well and play great defense. Special teams has been a big point of emphasis for me since the day I got here, because I see how quickly it can change a game, how quickly you can win or lose a game. And I've got 2 guys, Gary Fisher and Ben Hodges, who I just hired. They're both together at Eastern Kentucky, so they've got a background together, and they're doing a really good job. I think more importantly is our players are doing a great job. They're buying into what we're trying to do with special teams and how elite we need to be at special teams, how quickly you can win or lose a game from that standpoint. So we're getting a lot of reps. Our newcomers have fit in. We got some young guys that are going to help us. We got 6 transfers that have done a really good job, and I say that very honestly. I know that's sometimes coach speak, that these guys have fit in, but they're really doing a good job. We got some transfers that are going to help our program that have done a really good job, and they come from programs where they played at a high level of football. So excited about them, and really our freshman class, it's early, but you try to get, every coach tries to get an early read on their newcomers. They're guys that are right out of high school. And I couldn't be more pleased. I think these guys can speak to that. They're a great group of kids. A lot of them have been here all summer, and they have fit in with our guys, fit in with the chemistry, what we're trying to do, and they're good players. They're going to give us depth. They're competing for positions, and that's what you want. I'm not really into, like if you're a senior, it's an automatic start. You got to earn, just like myself, our staff, you got to earn your keep every day, and our players know that, So it's a competitive environment, a competitive culture. The good thing is we've got experience, we've got depth, we've got a team that's maturing, is older now, and we can bring young guys along. And if we need to redshirt them, we will. If not, and they're in a position to help us play, they're going to play. So that's just a little bit of an overview on our team. Again, these guys can speak to some about their positions, the offensive and defensive units. But, from day one, I'm excited to be here. It's a proud program, great tradition. We got a good foundation. All right, we've got to keep moving forward now and keep moving the program in the right direction. All right, now open up for any questions. I'll be as honest and transparent as I can without giving too much away.
With the running back spot, do you want a featured back, or could you see using 2 or 3 guys?
I've been a part of both. A year ago at Richmond, we went into it. We had 2 All-American backs, and we figured it'd be a committee of 2 really good players. And one of them got hurt about a quarter of the way in. The other kid just took off, Jacoby Green. So if it's 3 guys, so be it. If it's 2 or 1, I think if you look at the makeup of our running back position right now, I'd say it would be more by committee, but a good committee. I like how we're headed at the running back position. I think these guys could answer to that. We've got a good group of backs. They're all a little bit different. And Jamie Gilmore, our transfer from Temple, has come in and done a very nice job.
Coach, what about those FPS transfers? How much have they given you a spark here early on and may be a big part of your team this season?
I think the first thing when you look at transfers, and I'm always very careful about who I bring in the program. I'm very guarded about who comes in. That's kind of holy ground, so to speak, in that locker room. So I make sure we want to do all our work on the young man before he gets here. But I've been really pleased. They're good kids. They fit in. There's not anybody coming in here with a, I'm bigger than you attitude. They've been awesome. Again, the players can attest to that. They got a great work ethic. We got guys from really a couple of, we got junior college player in there. We got Division I transfers in there. So it's a little bit of a mix. But been very pleased with them, their work ethic, their attitude, and just their willingness just to fit in.
A lot of times a new coach takes over a program, there's a lot of rebuilding that has to be done. You came in, you had a pretty much a solid roster.
Yep.
How much does that make this kind of go a little farther along than maybe you would be normally?
Well, no, it makes the transition a whole lot easier when you inherit a good team. And you have to give Coach Nielsen a lot of credit for that, and give these players a lot of credit because they came here when Western was having to rebuild. And they've been here through that process, and they bought in. And players win games, and they got to go out in the field and win the games for you, and they've done an awesome job of that. So the thing that I've noticed since I've got here is these players are hungry. They embraced the change. The change is not always easy, but it's something we all have to embrace if you're going to move forward in the right direction. They've done that since January 4th. Been pleased with our spring ball, but we're ahead of where we were in the spring, and we should be. We had a summer to work on not only conditioning but offense and defense, and now insertion of those schemes again, and even more so, adding to it to continue to get better. But we've still got a lot of work ahead of us. We got a lot of practice ahead of us, and that's why they give us 29 days before we play our first game.
Coach, has there been anything that surprised you this first week of practices?
Anything that surprised me? No, not really. I mean, I had a good feel for our team. I did a lot of research on our team when I was looking at the job, and I wouldn't, the players proved to me right away their work ethic and the chemistry when I got here. So that part hasn't been a surprise to me. They've been doing that since day one. I've been more than pleased with that. I think if I was to say one thing that would surprise me is how quickly our transfers and our newcomers are kind of fitting in and really showing where we got some guys that can really help our football team, add to our depth, add to our talent level, and our competition and that competitive culture environment that you want.
Has there been a day where you've walked off the practice field and gone, we're better than I expected to be?
Early on, I thought, the first day was typical first day, 2, 3, and 4, 5, really good. Yesterday in the morning, we had our first 2 a day. You start to wear down, so we made some mistakes. Yesterday morning, I wasn't the happiest guy walking off the field. But, I've done this a long time, so I realize there's things that lead to that. Sometimes it's just mental fatigue, and they get physically tired, and you start doing, things that are not very smart. And that can lead to that a little bit. But I know at the end of the day, experience has taught me, don't let the highs get too high, the lows too low. Just keep even keel, work hard every day. We got great kids in the program. They work hard and trust the process, so to speak.
How much has Shawn Shawn establish himself as your guy under center?
Shawn's been awesome, and I'm a quarterback guy. I've been in a lot of competitive environments at quarterback, and that's what I want. We got a bunch of guys there. We don't have just 3 quarterbacks in the program. We've got 6. And we're going to make sure that's always competitive because we all have to earn it every day. Shawn's done that, and he's sitting in this room. But it was a competition when I got here. Every day's a competition, but he's clearly established himself as our starter, and he has that opportunity to continue to do that every day, and he's done that. I would say beyond that is his leadership capabilities. I've been around a handful of leaders that are kind of above the curve. Mike Mowdy at Penn State was one of those guys. Shawn has those kind of qualities, just different. When you're around them, they're just different guys.
On the flip side, on the defense, when you've got a guy in the middle like Brett
Yeah.
to lean on, that's got to be big.
Same type of guy, Brett's that kind of guy, hometown guy, and just brings it every day. That's that competitive culture that you want. You want guys that, practice is everything. Everything you do in practice leads to success in games, and that's the message I try to send to these guys. If the practice is competitive and it's tough and you want to win and there's a winner and a loser, it mirrors the same thing that happens every Saturday or Thursday night. Somebody wins, somebody loses. Somebody packs their toys up and goes home and a little upset, and somebody packs their toys up and goes home, hey, I won, good day. So that's kind of the culture you want to present each day in practice. And I think, ask these guys, they would tell you, they know. I just got a text and they say, Coach, what was the score from yesterday? So they want to know, that's a good thing. So when we go to the team meeting, we have a drum roll, right? Put the score up there and they get all fired up. So it's a good thing. It's been a good little thing that we've kind of instituted here in the fall camp. That's one of those things, say, man, that's been pretty cool to watch it unfold.
What is the point system?
Well, just, every drill we do, there's a winner and a loser. So, whether, depending if we get 4 yards or, generally a good play would be 4 yards or the defense holds us under 4. It's a completion, incompletion, touchdown, turnover. So they're getting points based on everything we do, and we keep track of it and have a nice PowerPoint slide and all that stuff. So we'll have yesterday's point total. You guys don't know that, right? We keep that under wraps till we get to the team meeting. But it's been really good, and I want you to ask these guys how they feel about it, because you can just tell as practice unfolds. They know what's going on. Am I right, guys? They know kind of what's going on. It's no different in a game. When you're playing good, and obviously the scoreboard tells you, but when you're playing good and doing good things in the course of a game.
Coach, is the idea there to make every single thing competitive?
Make everything count. Every play counts. Everything you do in this game and really in life in general, you have to make it count. You have to have some urgency. You have to have some focus on what's going on out there. And when you're tired, that's what yesterday wasn't good enough, because we were tired. We were, kind of leaking oil, so to speak, down the stretch. And you got to be able to play football when you're tired. You got to be able to play winning football when you're tired. And I don't want our players to ever feel like when we go in the fourth quarter, we're not there. We're not in shape. That's my fault if we're not in shape as a head football coach here. If we're not in the mental condition, the physical condition to handle the fourth quarter. Because that's really in great leagues with good teams where there's that much that separates a team, it's always going to come down to the fourth quarter. It is. It's going to come down to a handful of plays, who can make them when it matters most.
Coach, in your opening statement, you mentioned about transforming the tight end position.
Yes.
Can you kind of just elaborate more on what your full vision of that really
Well, my vision would be, I was with a coach yesterday when we walked out on the field, and Coach from Augustana was here, and I said, now that's what a Division I tight end group ought to look like. There's 6 guys there. It's very competitive. Big guys, tall, rangy guys. They can block. They can run and catch. And we have different guys that can do all different kinds of roles. If you get a tight end that can do everything, you got a special product there. But, if you can get a guy that can block or catch and fit into what you're trying to do. And really that goes back throughout my career, but most recently at Penn State, we would be in 2 and 3 tight end sets, and we had really good tight ends there. We used them, and it just makes those guys on the edge that much better. When you have weapons inside, it's a quarterback's best friend, but it's also your wideout's best friend when you got guys that can run the seam. So we're still transforming it. We're still finding out what they can do and what they do best, because some of these guys are newcomers. They just joined us, like Tony Harper from Pitt. We got a couple new guys in that group. So, but it's a good group. It's a competitive group, and they have fit in very well.
Will you do a lot of 2 and 3 tight tight end? I mean, will you do some of that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. 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 We'll do certainly some 1-2 tight end stuff, and we would mix in and get some 3 tight end stuff and use a single receiver. We're just very multiple in our sets and how we go about it, and you can flex those guys out, but they just create a different matchup inside on linebackers.
Anything else for Coach Fisher?
Yeah, you said back to the tight ends. Is there a tight end that has kind of stuck out in your mind,
Well,
or is it too early for that?
no, I would say it's too early. That a guy that really is building off a really, really good spring's Adam Conradi. He's done a really good job. Been pleased with his progress. Personally, I think the sky's the limit for him. He's still a young guy, and was one of our most improved guys in the spring, and he's done nothing but pick up from there. I like the skill set of Tony Harper from Pitt. Big, long guy. He's a good one. But we've got a nice mix of guys there that are very multiple. In other words, some might block a little bit better, some may catch it a little bit better. We can define their roles as we go through camp. But it's a good group, great group of kids. Coach Malone's done a really good job with those guys, and they know they're a key part of what we're trying to get done here.
All right.
Anything else? Okay, and I will say this, I'm going to turn it over to the players, and the players are what the program is always about. It's always about them, and they're the ones, these guys work hard. I want you to be able to talk to them and appreciate. I always tell them all the time, I appreciate all their hard work, what they do, because I know the sacrifice it takes to play at this level and all the things, the demands they have on and off the field. So we got great kids here, and you have a great opportunity to interview them and let them talk about our program. Okay? All right, thanks.